Oh, hey guys, it's Dr. Devin, and I have a little note from my heart to yours, bringing you a little love letter. I had a birthday a few days ago. I turned 43. Do you ever say a number out loud on your birthday and go, really? Me? I remember in my 20s what I thought 43 would look like, what it would feel like, and it seemed so old, so slow, and none of that. I feel now more alive, stronger than I ever have before. And maybe that's life. Birthdays are funny that way. I think they make you take just a second to reflect backwards and ask that question, how did I get here? And then glance forward and go, where do I want to go from here? It's a interesting portal, a bookmark really in the chapters of our lives because we only get so many. I'm grateful that for my birthday, God gave me a snowstorm. I do not like the cold. I actually really hate being cold. But what I love about these once in a lifetime type snowstorms that seem to roll through and grab the media headlines is it unites us all in a moment. We might be in different cities and states, and it certainly doesn't hit us all the same way. And I am absolutely saying a prayer for every single one of you, wherever this finds you, because I know that these types of storms can cause great devastation. And maybe that's part of the breath that I believe God invites us into, and why I do believe that media and social media and storms like this are absolutely a gift more than a curse. Because we take a second and we stop and we pause. I spent a whole day inside. I canceled my to do lists. I sat down. I took a nap, even. I just watched the snow fall for a little while. I made soup. I snuggled with my kids. I watched a movie. I took a bath. And I said a prayer. I said a prayer for the path of this storm and what it brings to each of you. And so I guess maybe a little similar to COVID, these types of storms remind us that the pause and the slowdown and an opportunity to reset and recalibrate maybe isn't a bad thing. Birthdays and this slowdown and really just this season of life is an interesting one for me, and maybe the true invitation or assignment to create these love letters is this weird in between that I find myself in. I'm not back there and I'm not where I'm going. I'm somewhere in the messy middle. And I put a post up about this last week, and I had so many of you reach out. So I know I'm not alone. And I look out into our collective and it seems like it's everywhere, right? We're not in the old ways that don't fit anymore. The old rules, the old pace, the old promises, it's all unraveling. But the new hasn't really revealed itself quite yet either. And I feel like this space is super disorienting. And for me, and I know so many, it's been lonely and unsettling. Something about the snow, something about this weekend, something about the prayer and the quiet that I've had. I can hear God say it's holy ground, right? This invitation into an unknown. And I feel like winter does this every year because it takes us into the feeling of dying, where all the trees and the flowers and the growth and the life goes away. The leaves leave the branches and it gets cold and we have to slow down. And it's for people, especially like me, who are solar powered, who live by the sun, who love being outside in it and all the things that spring and summer bring, even the fall and the sweater weather. I'll take that every day. But winter, my nervous system has always kind of repelled winter. And yet, here I am looking at the snow and having this conversation with you. And I know that this is where the quantum leap happens for so many of us, right? When you look at nature and hibernation and the idea of a cocoon, we can crawl into it and we can let that old version of ourselves die as the new comes to life. But it takes a delusional belief. It takes a true test of faith, I believe, individually. And if I look at our collective, right, this is happening at all levels, really. then we have to believe that something new is possible, even if we don't quite have the map for it yet, especially if we don't have the map for it. And so I feel the call to speak this to myself and to you, whoever you are, wherever you are, that if you feel confused and disoriented right now, you're certainly not broken. We are breaking. We are breaking. Our hearts and our minds are breaking. I feel like they have been breaking since COVID. And we haven't quite hit the tipping point yet. I feel like we're close. We know what we don't want. We know where the disease and the dysfunction are at. And we're watching all these old paradigms break apart in healthcare, in politics, in media, in our homes, in our lives. I know so many people going through major life shifts. It's not happening in one place, it's happening everywhere. And I know sometimes our nervous systems can feel very afraid because it does feel like death, because we are dying on some levels, and the mind can't reconcile it. We're wired for safety, we're wired for things to make sense, for logic. And there's a lot of things happening right now that don't make any sense. And yet, I know it's happening for the greater good. You can see how much ground we've made in so many ways in such a short amount of time, really, since 2020. The level of upgrade, the things that are moving for the better, it's happening exponentially, but our conditioning runs so deep, and the stories, the individual and collective stories and pattern they're just not going to heal overnight. And there's a very real spiritual warfare for our attention, to keep us in fear instead of faith, to keep us in worldly chaos instead of trusting that there is divine order to all of this. And I thank the snow days, because it gives me a second to recognize where it's all felt a little out of control, and I get a moment to come home, and in the quiet and in the stillness, there's this remembering and revival that can happen for us if we use it, if we turn to it, if we make the most of the downtime that we are gifted, because the world and time certainly never stops, right? But when we get a second like this, we can catch our breath, because health and vitality, my friends, is coherence. When the body, the mind, the heart, the soul are in alignment, healing, potential, transformation, that's possible again. But we have to come back into coherence. And I think faith gives us that, this in the face of uncertainty. Faith is our remembering and our revival, and remembering how to listen. It's funny that today, being a rebel is being someone who's rooted in faith and who believes in the light and love. And anarchy, right, is having hope that brighter days are ahead for all of us. And man, grateful for this birthday to come back home to the things that I know for sure, which is healing for the person or for the world is certainly not linear. There's ups and downs, and there's all arounds, and these points of exhaustion or disease or pain that we hit is really just a boundary. It's a message from internally. When we were little kids and you hear this hotter, hotter, colder, colder. I really believe that what we call burnout, what we experience as pain, disease, even at a grand level like cancer, is really just a check engine light for our life going, maybe this isn't the trajectory you want to head in, right? And we've got to take these moments of slowdown, not as a weakness, but to recalibrate and listen in and use the wisdom that we have. And man, I want to talk to the moms. Oh, I'm on a mission in 2026, probably because I am one, and it's the only truth I can fully embody or know, because I am a woman on planet Earth in 2026. I am a mother. I am attempting to heal myself while also healing the heart of our home and raising resilient children. It's not easy. Motherhood is a constant initiation, and it, in some ways, erases all the dreams we thought we'd have for ourselves. But that's okay because it gives us better ones, right? You kind of have to have a perpetual faith as a mother that God knows so much more than we do. I can hear God whispering. I feel like 2026 is going to be one of those years that we look back on and go, wow, do you remember that? It changed everything. I feel like it will be a year of illumination where so many of the things that we've navigated since 2020 will finally start to make another layer of sense, and it will probably still be a messy middle, but I think we will come more together as we face the breaking apart. And I know the world is going to shout even louder this year. You can feel that. I know you can feel that. There's so much noise. World shouting. And yet, if you close your eyes and you put your hands on your heart, you can hear God's whisper. And so I feel like I will close this with an invitation daily, weekly, to listen into the stillness, because He is with you every step of the walk. And I believe that simplicity and clearing the clutter and quieting the noise, it is the way, it is the brave way forward this year. And I'm going to set a commitment to you, to myself, to come back to these love letters each week, just to speak into the void, into the field, not with any agenda, but just to take a breath. Because being alive kind of feels like an Olympic sport right now. And the arena and the pain and the heaviness is real. So we could all use a little pause and remembering, and a soft place each week to come back home and to trust again in ourselves and our bodies and our faith in one another and the wisdom that we all carry within. So if you happen to be somebody who's standing at a crossroads and in the in between that I've been mentioning here, this is for you. You are becoming. I am becoming. We are becoming, and we are not behind. And if we just loosen our grip on the attachment to what we thought needed to happen, or the world we thought we would exist in, if we just let go, I think God will do something really miraculous with us all. If we forgive ourselves, if we forgive one another, if we give ourselves some permission this year, and we believe we're right on time. Right. I think we're in for some major magic and miracles this year. And I hope that these letters help you feel like you're not walking alone, because you're not. And you can subscribe here on YouTube. You can share these with friends. You can sign up and we'll email you each week, because I'm on a mission, right? And there's no pressure. This is just an invitation into my little field of dreams and new possibilities. I'm choosing love this year. I'm choosing light this year. I'm choosing to expect miracles at every turn this year. And I would love for you to join. Thank you for your time. Sending you a prayer, sending you a hug. I'll see you next week.